Welcome to Caramoor. Although it looks like something right out of the Renaissance, the house was actually built in the 1930s. Caramoor was originally built as the country home of the Rosen family. Lucie and Walter Rosen filled their home with a collection of decorative art and furnishings from around the world. They collected objects from the Renaissance, 17th and 18th century, European decorative arts, Chinese art, and entire rooms from English, French, and Italian homes and palaces. Their intention was living among these beautiful rooms and sharing them with friends and family. The Rosens were passionate about music and were both early supporters of Russian inventor Leon Theremin. Lucie commissioned work for the theremin and toured throughout the United States and Europe. Walter was himself a gifted pianist and would sometimes accompany his wife here in the music room. Lucie Rosen once said, "We built a home, my husband and I, not to be old or new, just to be beautiful, and we built it for music." Walter Rosen was born in Berlin and came to the United States with his family in the late 1800s. He entered Harvard at age 16, then went on to New York Law School. He eventually became a lawyer and an investment banker with a specialization in railroads. In 1914, he met and married Lucie Bigelow Dodge. Lucie was from a socially prominent New York family, and she considered herself an independent American woman. She wrote essays for magazines and was an artist, poet, and accomplished musician. The Rosens settled in New York City. In 1915, Walter Bigelow Rosen was born. Their daughter, Anne, followed 2 years later. The Rosens loved all things Italian and traveled to Venice every September. In 1928, after many years of transatlantic travel, Lucie told her husband that what she wanted most was a small house with a garden in her own country. The name Caramoor was the original name of the estate, after Carolyn Moore Hoyt, its previous owner. The Rosens thought the name enchanting, considering cara amore in Italian means dear love. Walter Rosen purchased the estate and immediately began to work on designing a house. In the early 1940s, they held concerts to raise funds for the war effort. In 1944, their lives were forever changed when their son, Walter, a pilot, was killed in action during World War II. The Rosens decided to bequeath the estate as a center for music and the arts in memory of their son. In 1946, the first public concert was held in the music room. Eventually, as word of this unique estate spread and demand for tickets grew, concerts were held outside in the Spanish courtyard. In 1958, Lucie, on her own at this point, welcomed guests to the first concert in the Venetian Theater, which featured American contralto Marian Anderson. What Lucie and Walter Rosen began in 1946 has continued to thrive. Today, Caramoor welcomes thousands of visitors to enjoy chamber music, opera, symphony orchestras, American roots music, jazz, and the American Songbook. We welcome families, school children, and music lovers of all ages. In 2020, we celebrated the 75th anniversary of public concerts. When the Rosens built this home, it was unusual. Today, it is quite rare for a home such as this to remain intact. For the thousands who come here every year, Caramoor is the oasis of music and art that Walter and Lucie dreamed of years ago.